Hey, peace and love. I thought I was done with my work, and apparently I'm not. Um, I will not be before you long. I have already cleansed these cards. This is going to be the Know You card pull for the evening. The card that came out is a consistent formula, gives me consistent results. A consistent formula gives me consistent results. Like learning to understand the basics of mathematics and then having the successful experience of understanding the results of their application. These cards have a lot of words. Work with me. Once you have a formula for understanding your world that is always consistent, it will yield consistent results to you. This is super dope and this is super applicable, especially for everything that's been going on around me in all of the work that I've been doing. For those that aren't familiar with me, my name is Kristen with a D. Welcome to the OnlyOneYou channel here on YouTube. On this channel, you will find a couple of different sections. The Know You section, which is our card pool. This is cards from the Asking It Is Given deck. Literally just jewels that give you something to think about, something to consider. Give me something to think about, something to consider. And then as I process it, I share it with you. There's the Know You section. There's the Heal You section, which is going to be really, I'm really excited to get that part started. That's going to specifically give details about the herbs and the stones and the different tools that I utilize from my healing on my journey. Also tools that I have, been recommended for whatever reason. Things that other people in my community and along my journey have found beneficial. So that's going to be the Heal You section. The Love You section is literally me loving me. Me loving me, me loving my children. Typically, it's a lot of dancing in that section, a lot of goofing off, because that's just how I enjoy life. I enjoy being happy. I enjoy laughing. I enjoy things that make me happy, like dancing and music. And then there's the BU section. The BU section is typically intuitive messages. I just did a video. I thought it was going to fall under Love You because I was just sharing, my gratitude worship experience, the song that I was enjoying, and it turned into a whole message that I did not plan for at all. Those messages fall under the BU category because that's just Kristen being Kristen. Also under the BU category, there's going to be special guest appearances, because I'm not the only one that's out here doing the work of healing myself. I'm not the only one that's on my journey and being intentional in my life. And I absolutely love and adore others that are also doing the work. I love sharing space with them, and I want to give them space on the channel to also share their experiences, because our paths are different. We're all humans. We're all people. We are, I crack myself up sometimes. We're all people and we all have our experiences. The goal is healing holistically so that you can be you authentically. And so that looks different for different people. Different tools work differently for different people. And I just want to expose as much healing as I possibly can to those that choose to rock with us. So if you're interested in what we're doing over here on the OnlyOneYou channel, definitely like, share, and subscribe. I would definitely appreciate it. I think you would too. You'll be notified anytime we post something. Also, if you're interested in any of the herbs or the stones or anything that I've been utilizing and that I'm talking about, you can find that at OneYouApothecary.square.site. OneYouApothecary.square.site. If you don't know where to start, you can book a consultation on the site and we can just kind of talk and see what you're feeling, what you feel might be best for you on your path. I do also offer starter kits. And so you can do a chakra healing kit that comes with stones and herbs, or stones and essential oils to help you in your process of identifying and removing blockages. There's also the BU kits. Those are maintaining balance. Those are designed like for daily balancing yourself, being intentional, checking in with yourself. If you know that you're struggling in this area, then there's something in that kit that specifically addresses that area. You know, those kits can be customized. However, there's sobriety kits available, protection kits available, actual physical healing kits available. I think it's a few more on there. So just go and check out the site, OneYou Apothecary.square.site. Like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, a consistent formula gives me consistent results. Like learning to understand the basics of mathematics and then having the successful experience of understanding the results of their application. Once you have a formula for understanding your world that is always consistent, it will yield consistent results for you. That's really self-explanatory. Like, you. As you get to know you, you know what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And then when you're faced with certain things, you can go and do what you know works, and you know you'll get the desired results because it's already been proven. Like, it's already been proven. A good example of this is I homeschool my kids. I have 2-year-old, 5-year-old, and a 12-year-old that live with me, and that I'm solely responsible for their education. The 12-year-old and I have been working on orders of operation. I think this was like last week. She was already familiar with it, but I decided to throw a review to her, and this review was like a trick review. Like, it was crazy. Exponents everywhere, parentheses and parentheses, brackets. She was like, what's a bracket? It was a lot. She looked at it and she got overwhelmed. So I gave her another worksheet to practice the steps in a more simplified way, reminding her, one, you already know the steps. Let's practice them and apply them in this manner first. Okay. So the page that I gave her initially had like 25 questions on it, and she was stuck on the first one for like ever, right? Gave her the review packet. It took her maybe an hour to get through, I don't know, 100 plus questions, something like that. But she got faster every problem she got through. And every problem she got through, like, I had her working next to me while I was working. I knew she accomplished it and she got it right because I would hear a yes, or I would see some kind of celebratory expression or something. I knew she was getting it. I left her alone. Go through your process. Get your practice. Practice the formula that was provided to you, right? She finished all that work. She came like, hey, let me try that worksheet again. All right, let's try this worksheet again. She knocked out those questions, and they were some pretty ridiculous questions. But she knocked it out in probably a half an hour, if not less than that. Without any questions, without any, like, she did the work and she knocked it out. But she was able to do that because she understood the formula. She had been provided the tools that she needed. She had been applying it in practice. And when it was time to show up to something, like when something presented itself as overwhelming or completely complex, she was able to identify the simplicity in it and she was able to knock it out. Applying knowledge is wisdom. But in order to apply knowledge, you first have to gather the knowledge. You first have to attain the knowledge. And the way that you get the knowledge is by researching, is by asking questions, is by learning. The way that you know the knowledge is by practicing it. So that when you're presented with something, you're able to identify whatever it is you need to identify, apply your formula to it, and you can knock it out of the park. So a consistent formula gives consistent results. Like learning to understand the basics of mathematics, and then having successful experience of understanding the results of their application. If you decide to try, here's a good example. I had a client reach out. She was having some stomach issues. She thought it was one thing. I told her, hey, that kind of sounds like inflammation. Why don't you try some turmeric? Drink some turmeric tea, make a golden tea or something like that. Checked on her the next day. How you feeling? Not really better. A little bit better. Like, she didn't want to tell me the shit didn't work. But nonetheless, it really didn't give her the results that she needed for it to give her. It was then her responsibility to tap in and figure out, what is it that I might need? I'm not sure, but I'm pretty confident that she decided she needed rest and she needed to work through the process because she ate something that needed to take its time digesting. That's what she did. A couple of days later, she was absolutely fine. To what I know, to the degree of what I know, she didn't really try much else, like maybe some peppermint tea, but nothing like she needed rest. And I think she knew that she needed to allow it to digest in its own timing so that she can get the results that she needed. Everything might not work for you, and it's okay if it doesn't work. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with it or it's something wrong with you. It means that there's something that is designed specifically for you, and it's up to you to attain that knowledge. And the only way that you're going to know that it works consistently is if you practice it. Turmeric works great for me. I had surgery on my knee. Therefore, it's been really rainy where I'm at right now, and I feel it in my knee like clockwork. I feel it. And sometimes, depending on how bad it storms, my knee will begin to swell. Golden milk helps knock out the inflammation for me almost instantly. Golden milk and baths. Those are go-to formulas for me that have yielded consistent results in the past and will continue to yield results for me in the future. And if I get to the point where it's no longer working for me, that's okay too, because there are other options available. A lot of times we just don't want to tap into the other options. We don't want to do the work of learning. We feel like you were only supposed to learn while you were in school, and your learning stopped there. As long as you are living, as long as you are breathing, as long as you are existing, you have the capacity to learn and attain knowledge. I've never accepted somebody saying, oh, they're just old and stuck in their ways. That is a choice. And you can be stuck in your ways. That ain't got shit to do with me. And if your ways are toxic to me, I have no problems with dismissing myself because you're stuck in it. I'm not going to try to change you from your shit. Let me just remove myself from it, because I'm not going to allow that. I'm not going to allow the idea that you're too old to grow. You're too old to learn something new. You're too old to accept that you might have been doing something wrong and it's had impacts on yourself and others around you. If you don't want to accept that, if you don't want to do the job of healing and correcting what you can identify as unhealthy, by all means, you hold on to whatever vices you choose to. As for me and my house, yeah. So, a consistent formula gives consistent results. Identify what the problem is. You have to be honest with what the problem is so that you can be honest in finding a solution that works for you. And then when you find that solution and it works for you, you practice it. You make it a point to get up and cut praise music on first thing in the morning before you do anything else, so that that's what you hear, so that that's what you consume first. You make it a point to close your eyes after you've opened your eyes just to give gratitude for the breath in your very body. Once you realize, hey, this meditation thing actually works, you practice this meditation thing. And then when you listen, because life is dual. So when you are presented with trials, when you are presented with tests, when you are presented with hardships, because that shit comes up too, you already have the tools. You're already equipped. Not only are you equipped, you're educated and knowledge and well-versed in how to utilize those tools. And then getting through whatever that challenge that's presenting itself is really going to be a walk in the park for you. Kind of like my baby getting this very complex worksheet and not even being afraid of it anymore. First time she saw it, she was completely intimidated by it. Not after she got some practice under her belt. A consistent formula gives me consistent results. Know you. Love you. Heal you. Be you. Because it's only one. It's only one you. Until next time. Peace.